Triple G is my favorite fighter in all of combat sports. He's really cool and I like him a lot. However, I want to make this point. If there is some sus shit involved, expect Triple G to be all for it. He is a sellout. He doesn't give a fuck. He fought a couple of good names. He lost one fight. He lost to Canelo. And then he went back to fighting bums like Vanes. They didn't have to make that fight. Vanes got fucked up and then he quit. Vanes wasn't even a big puncher at 154, and he came up in weight for this fight. Triple G just big as fuck, running up on Vanes. He hit that motherfucker 3 or 4 times in the corner, hard as fuck, and nobody even questioned Vanes for quitting. Even though he got up like he was gonna stand up, and then he just laid back down, but like, yeah, man, just lay down, fuck it. Because boxing is ruined anyway, so you might as well steal as much money as you can from the sport. Vanes made $250,000 in this fraud shit because he has to feed his family, so he had to go up there against the fucking Terminator and get fucked up by a fraud in a fraudulent contest that should not have even taken place. Boxing is such a cold sport, man. They let Vanes put his life in danger just so they could make some money. And it wasn't just Triple G and Vanes who made money. HBO made money. They allowed that shit. The only motherfuckers that did not allow this was the IBF. They didn't sanction the fight, but even they still let it go through. Oh, and speaking of the IBF, do you remember when they stripped Triple G of his belt? Because the IBF, they weren't fucking around. They were going to enforce his mandatory fight, so he just said fuck the IBF and didn't fight. He said, oh, wait, it's not a bum who won a robbery to get a mandatory against me? Okay, well, nah, I won't fight him. I'm gonna go find a fucking bum so I can have a fraudulent ass event and I can knock the bum the fuck out. That's what he really wanted to do, and that's what he did. Vanes should have gotten up so he could get fucked up some more. A lot of people tuned in to see that shit. It became the most viewed boxing event of the year. Everybody knew that the bum was gonna get fucked up. Nobody was watching it because they thought it was gonna be a competitive fight. Everybody was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be fucking horrible. And it was. The nigga got obliterated. He got pulverized, destroyed, beat up. He fucking mollywopped him. The nigga was probably on the ground crying. And he has every reason to fucking cry, because this is the sport that he decided to dedicate his life to, and he had to get in there and get hit by a fucking train. He had to get beat up by a nigga with infinity gauntlets on both of his fists just to provide for his family, because you have a fucking greedy champion who is a fraud and wanted to hold a fraudulent contest. You didn't have to do this, Triple G, but you wanted to. You wanted to be a fucking fraud because you can't help yourself. You greedy bastard. Oh, and Canelo is literally 10 times worse than this. Boxing is just the worst sport that has ever existed. It's so dog shit. It sucks balls.